Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is Keep It Real. It's Harry, and here's my review of The Last of Us Episode 6. The episode's name is Kin, and the episode starts off right where the last episode ended, where Henry and Sam are killed. Well, Henry kills Sam, and then Henry kills himself. It shows a little glimpse of that scene, and then it jumps 3 months into the future. I was actually kind of sad that it jumps 3 months into the future because they're actually kind of fast pacing the show again, and I was hoping that they slow down a little bit because I would like the I wouldn't want this season to end where the game ends in part one, because then season two will be, you know, start with the part two of the game. But as I've seen it, I think it'll be they'll get to a point where the end of season one will be at a dramatic point in the game, and they're gonna still stay with part one of the game in season two. It's just my take. I'm not sure of it, but okay, back to the episode. The episode starts, like I said, 3 months ahead into the future, and Joel and Ellie stops off at a cabin where two Native Americans are. They question them about where they are because they're kind of lost. They're just randomly traveling west and not sure where they were. They found out that they are actually in and around the Wyoming area, so they are getting closer to where Tommy should be. That's where this whole mission for Joel is. He's trying to go to Wyoming to find out the status of his brother. From the name of the episode, Kin, you kind of know that they're gonna meet up eventually, right? Uh, let's see. We see Joel and Ellie continue to bond. They've been together for now probably what 4 months or so, and Joel's still kind of standoffish. He's afraid to open up to Ellie. Ellie has tried desperately to meet his approval because to her he is her father figure in her life. So they talk about their future. You know what they're planning on doing after this adventure of theirs. Joel says that he would like to start a farm, maybe a sheep farm. Uh, Ellie has no plans. She was hoping that Joel was gonna say his plans was gonna include her, but he never said it. But you can see like a little disappointment in her face. I thought that was pretty well acted. Ellie talks about once they get to the place that they'll draw her blood, and that'll be that. She doesn't know what she has in store for her. She doesn't know what they have in store for her in terms of what they need to do. I played the game, so I know what to expect, but I'm not gonna spoil that yet. But she still thinks that she draws some blood and they're gonna make some, vaccine out of her blood. It's a, it's kind of nice to throw that in, just like a little hint of what's coming up. Uh, this episode, I would have to say, is not a lot of action. It's a lot of drama, and I think they did it very well. It didn't need the action because it were the character building a lot more. They're building more of Joel's character, breaking him down, making him more accepting of Ellie. We saw Ellie breaking down, showing how much she wants Joel to be a father figure to her, and they are finally in Jackson, Wyoming, and they get stopped by a group of people. They do not know who it is, and they were walking along what they call the River of Death, and it's just a river. It's nothing really. They played it up like it was such a big thing, but there's nothing major comes of it. They bump into a group of people, and they try to do some dramatic scene where there's a infected sniffing dog that if they smell Ellie, that the dog will go, will bark and bite her. But since she's a kid, you know, dogs love kids, and the dog started playing with Ellie instead. Supposedly, Joel was panicking because he didn't know what to do. He was like, should I stop it? Should I just let the dog attack her? Because if the dog finish her off, his mission is over. He just does not. He's conflicted. He just does not know how to act anymore. He doesn't want to love her. He doesn't want to care for her. He lost Sarah, his daughter, and it's still haunting him till today. And he does, and it's 20 years later. So he's worried about caring for another person. And Pedro Pascal is playing that up very well. This is episode 6, and he's still very standoffish. Well, those group of people are actually Tommy's people, Joel's brother, and they bring them back to his town, and Joel finds out that Tommy is married to Maria, and they settle in, and Joel confesses to Tommy about what's going on with Ellie, how she could be possibly the cure, and he wants to convince him. Joel wants to convince Tommy to take over for Joel, because he's having panic attacks. They're playing it out like he's having a heart attack because he's getting lightheaded and everything. He's having a panic attack because I think his feelings and the memories of his past is haunting him, and it's all coming to a head. So he's trying to convince Tommy to take over for him so he doesn't have to do this anymore because he cares for Ellie too much. He does. He's trying to stop it, but he does care for her. So somehow Tommy says, sure, I'll take her. And in the morning of the time when Tommy's supposed to take Ellie to Colorado, to this university in Colorado where the Fireflies were supposed to be, Joel shows up and tells Ellie, you should have a choice in this. I should not make it for you. What's your choice? Ellie, without even thinking about it, chooses Joel. And from that moment on, it's a quick scene, but I think Joel's wall starts coming down even more. So Tommy gives them a horse and some provisions, and now they're off on their 1-week journey to Colorado, to the University of Eastern Colorado. I think that's what it's called. It doesn't really matter, but they bond more. Joel is more accepting of Ellie. He's still worried about her, but he's more open to her now. You can tell he's teaching her how to hunt, how to shoot, and he tells stories to her, and he's becoming more of a father figure than before. And I think that helped him because he's not having any more panic attacks, which I guess was why he was having in the first place. He was holding back so much. Now he's becoming more accepting. He's afraid to love her because he lost his daughter, he lost Tess, and he's afraid of losing things. And Ellie confronted him about this, and she actually said, I lost everybody I loved as well. They either left me or died. So they both share a common bond, and it's nice to see on the show because in the game you can't really, they kind of try to go in there, but it's a game, so you're trying to move forward. Most people I know that play the game, they skip these cutscenes because they just want to move on to the playing part. I'm actually playing the game again just for reference, so I know where we're at when I'm talking about the show and the game. But I am replaying it right now, and the funny thing is I haven't played it for years, and I'm learning a lot more stuff about it because I actually skipped a lot of these cutscenes myself. But now that I'm actually slowing down, just watching the cutscenes, it's in the game they actually show a lot more than I thought. But it's the show and the game are. This is why I guess the game was so popular, and now the show is very popular. Joel and Ellie makes it to the University of Colorado, East Colorado, I guess. They're on campus, and I thought that the scene of the university was perfect. It looked exactly like the game, and not that the game is, it's a perfect scene, but if you're a player of the game, you want to see the, similar things, especially from the show, and I thought it looked pretty damn good. It looked like they just took it right from the game. Could have been CG, but nevertheless, it looked great. The only difference between what happened in a show and what was going on in the game is that in the game it's a longer process. You will have to do a lot more little things before you even get to the building where they look where Joel and Ellie ended up in the show. In the show, they were there like that. It was really quick. This scene happened in the end of the episode, near the end of the episode. So I guess they tried to. It wasn't for the game. I can understand it because it's a what they call it. It's I'm not a gamer, but you have to. It's a challenge basically. I guess that part of it's a challenge part of the game. But for the show, they just went through it. There's no challenge. You're not playing a game, so there's nothing dramatic about it. They looked around the building. They don't find anything. In the game, there's hunters, many hunters. So you have to sneak around looking for things and see if you could scrounge up something and weapons, bullets, whatnot in the game. So in the show, they pretty much really just Joel and Ellie goes in the building. They find out it's abandoned. Fireflies are not here. Joel looks out the window. They see three, I'm assuming hunters. They're strangers, and they say, "Let's get out of here." So Joel and Ellie go downstairs and go back to their horse that Tommy gave them, and they try to get out, and they're attacked by one guy. Joel gets stabbed by the man, and it's great to see. We see Joel finally strangle. What do you call it? It's like a takedown, a reverse neck chokehold, and you do that a lot in the game. You sneak up behind a player or an enemy or whatnot. Even in Infected, you sneak up behind them. You choke them out, crack their necks. It's part of the game. So it's the first time we see it in episode 6. So that's kind of cool. During the encounter, Joel gets stabbed. This is how the episode ends. Joel gets stabbed, and they ride off. He collapses. Ellie has to take care of him, and she's freaking out because he's bleeding. The next episode, obviously, is going to take it's taken from the game. Joel does get hurt during this part of the game, and it'll be more interesting because Ellie now is going to be on her own. She's going to have to make her own decisions for a little bit before Joel recovers. So we'll see where they take it in the next episode. With that said, people still think that season 1 is going to end in part 1 of the game. I don't think so, because we're in episode 6. There's only 4 more episodes to go, right? There's no way they could. Well, I guess they can. I hope not. They could fast pace it again, and they, he recovers 4 months later, and then they're at the end of the part 1. But let's hope not, because I like the way they did. Like this episode, I love this episode. It's dramatic. There's not much action, but it was very dramatic. It showed the acting chops of our 2 main actors, and it showed how both of their walls are coming down. They are opening up to each other. I can't say they love each other yet, but they're getting there. They care for each other, and that's very important because you have to build a bond to do what they're doing, traveling across the country with the infected after you, the bad guys after you. You have to develop a bond to want to survive together. You want to have a bond to want to even care to, like when let's say you're cornered, you have to want to save the next person. If you don't care for that person, you'll say, yeah, take her, who cares, right? So they have to develop this bond just to live. And I thought they did an excellent job. It's a great episode. My review on this episode is obviously I enjoyed this one a lot, but I'm sure for the people that are looking for action, there wasn't anything going around. No, there was no action in this episode, just more about bonding. And the episode is called Kin. So now you can see there's a relationship developing between Ellie and Joel, and it's becoming, obviously Ellie's going to be the pseudo daughter that he lost, which I thought was sweet. It was great. They did a great job. Let me know what you think. Give us a like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I'll talk to you next time. Enjoy.